Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back with part two of my dreams for Torino, as it's the 4th of May. So I'm sort of commemorating the terrible tragedy happened, I don't know when, but umpteen years ago. As I mentioned in part one, the Superga disaster. I'm trying to make a positive out of a negative by sort of looking at ways that maybe FIFA and UEFA could support Torino to get investment for that terrible tragedy. Anyway, I hope you enjoy these ideas, although it's kind of based on a negative sort of thing or event in history. I hope a lot of positives can be made from it. And as ever, I would love to read your comments. And if you want to make any response videos or anything like that, where you'll add your own 2 cents, I always welcome that. In fact, if you want to, one of the things I want to do as a side note is to react to as many videos as possible. So if you want to react to mine and as they say, share for share, we could do also react for react if you like. So if you react to my videos and if you want, I'll do the same for yours, or that kind of thing. Help each other's channels to grow and support each other. But yeah, if you want to do that, please let me know in the comment section. And if you do react to it, please post the link for the reaction in the comment section. I'd really appreciate it. Even if you want to meme me, hopefully it won't be too harsh, but I'll try and take it on the chin. Hopefully, as I say, I hope you won't take the mick out of me too much, but I hope these videos won't be too cringeworthy, as I say. But anyway, so here goes. So onto the list. So number 11, I would love to read people's suggestions and ideas of what Torino can do to change, to improve, like football fans generally, analysts, analytical people, analysts and all that, look at what Torino could do, what they could do to improve. If maybe like if they had an unlimited budget. Some people make videos of like FIFA where they say, well, if such and such a team had an unlimited budget, or if they had £1 billion, it could be like a Torino £1 billion challenge or something like that, $1 billion challenge at least, or something like that, or both. Maybe people could do all those sorts of things. But yeah, so suggestions of how Torino could improve, and also, from people who are like just football fans generally, analysts or whatever. I imagine you'd have to know about football to know about how it could improve. But also from Torino fans yourselves, if you watch this video, and I hope you will share it with Torino fans, and Torino fans will talk about what they would do to improve, what you would do to improve your squad, and that kind of thing, like who you would bring in as the manager, the coaches, the coaching staff, the players, and that kind of thing. How much you would invest into the buying of better players overseas? How much would you invest into the academy, and how would you develop local talent and national talent for the national team, perhaps, or how important is the national team for you, if at all? Like some Torino fans might not find the Italian national team that important, some might find it really important. So I'd love to read from football fans generally, but especially Torino fans, and as ever, Celtic fans perhaps as well, as a fan of Celtic. But yeah, football fans generally, like how you would improve the club in this case, obviously Torino. Number 12, if I could go back in time and I could have changed it, I would have. There's lots of things I would change, to be fair, but one of them would be to have made this idea work today. It's already 10:30 at night, so imagine in Italy it's probably like an hour's difference at most. But if I could have gone back in time, or if I could go back in time, I would have made, like, somehow got Torino on this day to on this day and this date, specifically 4th of May 2023, to have organized an event which brought together all possible investors and talk about the incentive for them to invest, what they could get out of it, like PR or whatever. I talked about teams that are like companies or even countries or places, perhaps it could be that begin with T, or T brands, T companies, tech companies perhaps as well, sticking on the theme of alliterations, but just general companies as well. I like to stick to alliterations, but it could be other companies. But I thought it would be interesting to see like Tata, Toyota, Tesla, and companies like that investing in the club, and companies that begin with T perhaps as well. As I say, generally as many of them as possible having a smaller equity each, and obviously the more wealthier companies having more shares or more equity in it. Obviously, if they do well from such, they could invest even more in the future if it does well for them. If they get good returns quickly, they could then reinvest more, perhaps if they feel more comfortable, or they find out more about the football business, soccer business for any Americans out there, and maybe link it to, like, say, MLS teams or other teams like in India or Japan or around Asia or elsewhere. I'd love to see Arab investors, like maybe even the U.A.E. or Qatar, Dubai, or places like that, investing, having small shares each, maybe Arabs generally improving relations between Italians and Arabs through football, Africans perhaps, Asians and other groups generally as well, and that kind of thing. But as I say, I would have loved for Torino to have hosted an event on this day to look at investors, how to network with investors, what investors would be looking for, what they'd want in return, like what guarantees they'd want, or things like tax exemptions perhaps, or access to markets generally in Turin, or things like that. Also, local businesses could invest perhaps, or fans even could donate to the club. Maybe even fans might not even want any monetary gain; they might just want to see their club do well. But yeah, as I say, if I could have gone back in time, talk about being really dream driven, that's the sort of thing I would have done. And number 13, as I often say, I hope these videos are not too cringeworthy. Number 14, I hope that Torino will solve many of the problems they have and improve the club, and do problem solving for like tackling things like helping those who are victims of domestic abuse or climate change or natural disasters or things like that, and basically helping solve problems generally to make the world a better place, look at problems and how they could be solved and tackled and things like that. So hopefully doing a lot of positive stuff, as I say, turning this negative situation into a positive. Number 15, again, I'd love to read from Torino fans, like what your dreams are. If any Torino fans hopefully watch this video or these videos, and like I'd love to read your comments about what your dreams would be for the club, and what would you be prepared to donate to the club? That's one question I'd love to ask Torino fans. Would you be prepared to donate to the club if you knew the profits were going to be used, the money was going to be used to reinvest in buying better players, developing the academy and things like that, and improving the club? Could you imagine like Mbappe, possibly, although he said if he was going to go to Serie A, he would go to Milan. But if the money was right and the investment was there, could you imagine someone like Mbappe, Haaland, however you pronounce his name, people like that coming to Serie A? Who would you want? Because like a lot of people might think everyone would want Messi or Ronaldo, but I mean maybe some Torino fans might think, or fans of other clubs might even think that they're past it, they're past their best at least, and they won't be as good, or they'd just be mercenaries doing it for the money. Or they won't be team players. Some people might think that about Ronaldo, for instance. But yeah, would you prefer Messi, Ronaldo, or what if both played for Torino? I'd love to hear what people think about that, as well as Italian fans and Celtic fans even. I'd love to hear from as well as ever. But yeah, so I'd love to hear your own goals and dreams, and possibly some more realistic and some not so realistic. And maybe this video could inspire you to make your own videos. And again, maybe if they make money, you could donate that to the club. Like I'd love to, if this video went viral, I'd love to donate any money it made as much as possible. Unless I really needed that money, I'd love to donate it to Torino in this case, as well as the videos I do for Italian football generally, as a mad fan of Italian football generally, and for Celtic as well. I'd love to donate to those, like for videos I make on Celtic. Number 16, again, I would love for analysts to talk about what you think could be done to improve the club, what you think would benefit the club, and that kind of thing. Number 17, I'd love to hear what you think the club could achieve. Number 18, I'd love to hear any positive facts, especially about the club, about Torino. If you're a Torino fan, what it means to you. And even if you're not a Torino fan, if there's something you like about Torino or Italian football generally, that kind of thing. Number 19, I'd love to listen to football fans generally. And number 20, what do you think Torino could do? I'd love to leave this video on a question. What do you think Torino could do to help the world to be a better place, especially for young people and disadvantaged people around the world, and especially in developing countries? And how do you think they could develop football in Italy itself? And what community work do you think they should do? And that kind of thing. And how do you think I covered this video or this topic? I'd love to read any of your comments. Or again, if you want to make reaction videos or things like that, I'd love to see those and hear those as well. Anyway, I am out. Peace and love.